relatively short.
I think we get in and out
It
pretty
is,
quick.
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Survey, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I know a number of our members have to leave relatively early tonight. It's a summer meeting. The park is humming. Let's try and get this through this agenda pretty quickly.
Commissioner Brett,
Here.
Commissioner Salanitro,
Here.
Commissioner Rosenberg,
Here.
Commissioner Pilla, absent, Commissioner Sach.
Actually,
And
Commissioner
Commissioner
Pilla, I want to thank him. He's actually going to be speaking at the Portchester Leadership Institute today. And so, and I think that certainly has an excused absence tonight for that. I want to thank him for that. Okay, can I get a motion, any questions, comments in the meetings from June 16th?
No, I make a motion to approve the minutes?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
I think I don't
Oh.
think I was here, so I think I just have to abstain. But
Okay.
Actually, I wasn't here either. I was represented by the deputy mayor, but
You are
I-
allowed to, Bishop did
You
this
are,
research for us.
if you are absent, you still have the ability to vote to accept the minutes.
okay,
All right, it's not approving the minutes, it's accepting the minutes.
got it.
All right.
I will accept them.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr.
I'm
Sack.
a very accepting
Mayor
person.
Sack.
Yes.
We'll say all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, terrific. Comments from the public?
Tom Serby, Rye Brook. I just want to know if what you said last meeting about how the people are hired. If
Yes,
you,
we have a presentation for you this evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Servant. Okay, any other comments from the public? If not, Mr. Gioffre, would you take us through the park management report, please?
Good evening. Despite a few rainy weekends, we had a large number of good weather days. We about 2 or 3 weekends where we just filled the park and had to shut down parking because once we reach a certain level, we need to shut down. The city of Rye completed replacement of 2 broken storm water pipes. Joe, everyone up there has this.
Yeah, I think maybe
I
it's open.
I think it
Questions?
might
I know we're
work
on a-
better, yeah.
Yep, that's a good idea. Any questions for Mr. Gioffre on the park operations? Basically, Fred, they're going pretty smoothly from what I understand this year.
Yeah, we were pretty far behind for a while because we had quite a few rainy days in April, May, and even June. But over the last 3 weekends, we sort of made it up and we're beginning to pull ahead. I don't have the figures with me,
That's
but
fine.
Bishop, I think they're in your.
I think,
$36,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent that to the entire.
yeah, so 36,000, is that right?
Yeah,
Good.
As of-
Excellent.
that's
as
the
of
number I
15th.
remember.
Beautiful, as compared with last year.
Compared
Yeah.
with last year, that's
Right.
correct.
On revenue
Exactly.
side,
Just on the revenue side.
Yep.
That's right.
The dog experiment is working out well.
oh, beautiful. Well, let me pause. and
Yeah, I think.
Thank Councilwoman, Commissioner Brett and Mayor Sack, certainly Commissioner Brett for pulling that together. It's been a 7-year bet noir, right, Mayor Sack?
I think this is great. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
For that
Thank you for
report,
the
Fred.
positive, yeah,
Yeah.
the positive
Well,
feedback.
I have to give you all the credit because it's like everybody got the message, and the dog walkers now have a totally different attitude. They're on leashes and they, not giving us any problem at all, from what I could see.
Thank you, that's
Beautiful.
really nice to hear.
That's
That's
good.
nice to hear, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying it to.
No, I didn't think you would just say it.
You've never said it before, so.
It's an observation.
Thank you, Fred.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Gioffre? Yes, Mr.
Thank
Mayor
thank
Rosenberg.
you, Supervisor Carvin. Just not as much as a question as just a compliment. Fred, I've been in the park twice so far this season. Looked fantastic. The condition, it looked nice. Everything just seemed to be falling into place. My compliments to you
Thank you.
and the staff. I was there Friday night for the fireworks as well, watched it from Rye Town Park. I did see the Tiki Zine going back and forth a little bit, but he seemed to
Was
be
it under control?
It was not. It didn't seem to me to be a problem at all. So.
And you
I-
followed up with him, correct?
Yeah, twice. My
Yeah.
security guy spoke with Johnny Ambrose,
Yeah.
and I spoke with Johnny
Good.
Ambrose. And yesterday or last night, I stopped one of the drivers to let him know I thought he was going a little too fast. He
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
apologized and
So
said,
the
I'll...
one-
Let Mr. Ambrose know you've had to do that as well,
Yeah.
so he can.
Oh, yeah,
Let him know that as well, just so he can keep his
I
guys in
will.
line.
The one suggestion that I would have, Fred, is because I was there after the fireworks, and they seemed to be around 9:15. No, I'm sorry, when it was
It
over. what,
starts
quarter
at
to 10?
9:15.
9:40, quarter to 10. When security wanted people off the beach, all they were doing was flashing very big lights in people's faces from where the ramp is. They
Yeah.
were. As a parent of a child that has epilepsy, if there's a child on the beach or someone on the beach that has epilepsy, you guys flashing those strobe lights is going to trigger a seizure. So maybe a better way to do that would be either with some sort of announcement, the beach is closing, or to have your security guys just walk onto the beach and very politely say, would you mind clearing the beach? But flashing strobe lights, I think, I know it's a remote chance, but there is a chance that we can trigger a seizure
Sure,
in someone.
I'll follow up on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Gioffre? Excellent. Well, you got a comprehensive report here, Fred. I know you're going to be making a presentation shortly, so I think unless there's anything else you had, I think that will be good for
No, I don't.
for purposes. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Fred.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Nowotnik, how's the financial report for June?
Well,
Looks like we're, as of June 30th, we're a bit behind oh, no, that's expenses.
no, we're tracking pretty well. Behind the financial report, for example, I just wanted to call your attention to the summary page. This is our wage comparison that we do, and you'll see that you've got 4 or 5 years of wages by department. We are at the middle of the season as of July 15th, pretty much, and we are pretty much dead in the middle of our budget in terms of 222 versus a budgeted 447. So I think we're controlling things rationally here, as well as when you look at the revenue side, we're about $36,000 ahead on the revenue as of July 15th, as of the same dates.
Okay.
Expense-wise,
No, but, sorry, just look at the piece of paper you gave me, though.
Yep.
We're 12,000 behind last year overall, correct? Expenses versus revenues.
Yes, yes. Again, this is
Pre-July 15th, I know we had
Yeah.
a couple of good weeks.
right, this is as of June 30th,
Great,
okay?
excellent. Any questions for Mr. Nowotnik?
No, this is great.
Okay, this is good, thank you. All right,
Gotta make hay when the sun shines, right?
there you
for
go,
sure.
exactly.
That is for sure.
Okay, now our presentation for hiring at Rye Town Park.
Yep.
Mr. Nowotnik and Mr. Gioffre.
Joe, did you want to, I know this was in the packet, but the letter to the, about the dog bite, I don't know if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, I thought the letter was very good,
Please.
and it was like, yeah, it would seem like
Bring it
an
up.
appropriate response, given our
Yeah, why
constraints.
don't
So,
you-
yeah,
Why
thank
don't you
you.
talk about,
Sure. Just for the public to understand, in our meeting packet was a letter that Commissioner Carvin sent to the owner of the dog that bit the child in Rye Town Park. We talked a lot last meeting about how to respond and what was the appropriate response, but I'm very glad to see that you sent a letter essentially reprimanding them and saying that if you bring a dog that's likely to bite someone into a park, you're putting people in danger, and we don't want to see that happening, and we don't think that that's appropriate behavior. So I think that's as strong a response as we could possibly have in this situation, and thank you for sending that.
My pleasure, thank you, thank you. Okay, Mr. Nowotnik and Mr. Gioffre?
Great.
All right, you had asked about the idea of how we...
Bishop, hold
You
on,
need a
Bishop.
microphone.
Thank
Fred,
you.
you come on, why don't you sit up next to your counterpart there?
Yeah, right. You take the bullets, Freddie. So I want to open up. We have a standard advertisement. This is the standard advertisement we run. cashiers, groundskeepers, lifeguards, parking attendants, all the various groups that we look for must be able to work from Memorial Day to Labor Day, especially on weekends, and additional days may be required. We do ask for prior work experience in terms of desired, and we also confirm
Encourage.
that residents of Portchester, Rye Brook, Rye Neck, and the city of Rye get preference where possible. The application is on our website. They can download it. They can come to our offices, pick it up. We drop off applications at the high schools, and you know, we try to be as aggressive as possible. And we're also running this, by the way, during the month of April. We typically will run it for the entire month. So the applications eventually come in. We receive all the applications at the supervisor's office at 2:22. The applications, the basic data from those applications, name, address, etc., are put into an Excel spreadsheet so that we keep track of all of the applications that do come in. And then a copy, a photocopy of each application is sent down. We send them down in groups, whatever, 10, 20, 30. We send them down to Fred. Fred then will try to sort them through if in fact there are preferences by the applicants. If not, they go to the various department heads for review. Department heads, the first thing they wind up doing, frankly, is they canvass all the previous employees. All right, they try to make sure they know who is intending on coming back, they know who the good performers are, and they try to make sure that they have a spot for those particular people. All right. Even so, returning employees are still asked to complete a new application. Remember, everybody was terminated as of October the prior year, so there were no employees left.
Fred, go ahead, did you?
I just want to add something.
There's another mic there too, if you want to.
One of the reasons why we know that an employee's performance was done well, that they worked out well, is because I have twice a season evaluations of all the employees. So I keep those files, and then the following year, if we need to refer to them to follow up on employees that are applying once more, we have those at our disposal.
And have you ever, I mean, in general, you rehire those employees that do a good job, I take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
All right. At that particular point, once the department heads understand how many remaining openings they have, they will start to review the applications. Selected applicants have to come in. They get interviewed, and if they are in fact selected for a position, they have to complete what's called a hiring packet. And the hiring packet consists of the W-4 form, what they call the Form I-9 for the IRS. They have to review the retirement letter. They have to provide identification, be it a driver's license or school ID or what have you. So there's a process there that they have to complete. That's all completed down at Rye Town Park. That's done in conjunction with the respective department head that hired that particular employee. All right, the completed paperwork is then reviewed and approved by the department heads and the park director, and the hiring packet is now sent back to the supervisor's office. All right, at that stage, we then input those hired employees, because at that point I have a notation that says what their start date is, what their position is, and how much they make in terms of the various steps that we have.
And what department they're in.
Right, and what department they're in. So we then have to input that into the payroll system. So that's when an employee is actually officially on the payroll, is when I get the completed paperwork back from the park director. Okay, I went through all of that. Those are the various forms that they have. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. And we just wanted to kind of point out, this is 2015. This is as of about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. Since then, we've received maybe another 3 or 4 applications. We've received applications constantly. But this shows you the dispersion of the hires that are down there. You can see that 46 are from Portchester, Rye Brook, Rye City, Mamaroneck. When you look at that, we have, I don't know, 65, 70% of the employees are from our,
Well, let me
District.
just ask, so
Yes.
Putnam County is the head lifeguard, isn't it?
uh,
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
no, Putnam
Oh, where's he
County,
live?
I
He
can't
lives
re-
in Connecticut.
Oh, he lives in the.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, no.
We're talking
no.
about
Mark, what's his
Mark
name?
lives in Westchester County. He's part of the 16.
Where does he live?
Croton on Hudson.
All right,
So he's borderline.
okay.
Yeah, he's up there pretty far, but
And
he's
who,
in
the
Westchester.
Connecticut employee, how many of them are lifeguards?
Connecticut, I would say only one or two, I think.
Okay.
I don't know the actual, I can get you that breakdown, by the way. We have it.
Okay, anyway, all right.
And if I remember, we have one from New Jersey. Yeah, that happens to be Bob Smalt, who is the assistant lifeguard.
Right.
To Mark Casada. He's also our recertification instructor.
Yeah.
So he does all the lifeguard recertifications if they are required.
He's been here 22 years.
Right.
Just a quick question, Bishop.
Yes.
There's 83 people working there currently. How many applications did we receive?
No, this is the application pool. We
Oh, that's
only
the application, that's not the hiring.
Right.
That's not the actual.
76. We have 76 employees on the payroll
Okay, and that's
as
how
of
the applications
as
were
of
broken.
last week. But these are extra applications,
Got it.
and we track them too. All right.
Okay.
As I said, since then we've had a few more that would have been added.
Got it.
All right. Throughout the course of the season, a typical season, we'll get 100 applications when it's all
Okay.
said and done.
Okay.
For 76,
So rather than hiring dispersion, it should be application dispersion.
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah.
We'll make that
And
clarification.
it's, how many people do we have employed?
76 were on the payroll as of last week. That's right in the area where we belong.
And it fluctuates, right? You have fewer in April,
Yes.
gets more.
Yeah,
in the-
it's almost like a mountain. If you follow the graph,
Right.
yeah, we have a
You have
half.
school, you have,
By October, we're down to 2 employees, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 3 employees for the last couple of weeks in October, just to shut down the physical plant. That's Sal and 2 other guys to shut down.
So Memorial
the park.
Day, summer months, Memorial Day to Labor Day are is the big peak hiring season, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And even, I know we struggle sometimes in the summer, kids going back to college and those kinds of things.
It is constant. We have turnover, and I apologize, I should be able to give you that. We do have turnover in these jobs. Sometimes kids leave, get other
Right.
jobs. We have probably terminated, what would you say, 3 or 4 people this season?
more like 5 or 6, yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6, where we've terminated them for various disciplinary reasons. And,
Good, okay.
like running any business,
Sure.
Yep.
okay?
Is that it? Any
Yep.
other questions from the commission? Mr. Serga, do you want to, I'm sure you probably want to say something. I'm going to give you the opportunity.
Some of those things applied to me, and a couple of them was when I asked Terry, when people work down there and they go back the next year, they're hired. But you thought that wasn't right. And also, when the park director told me that he would hire me, but it wasn't up to him, and you made a statement that, well, you...
Yeah, I'd like to correct that, Mr.
Correct
Servi. I never told you that I would hire you. I wouldn't
You didn't
make-
tell me you were going to hire me. You
I
told me...
wouldn't make a commitment like that unless I was going to.
No, you said that,
Fred, direct your
you didn't say
comments.
you were going to hire me. You said that there was no problem. So what
I
that
said I
means, what that means to me is that you're in favor of me hiring me.
No, I said I have no problem with you. That doesn't refer to my hiring or not hiring. You and I felt get along fine. So
Oh,
there's
yeah, we
nothing
do get along
personal here.
fine.
But it had nothing to do with me hiring you.
No, I didn't say that, Freddie. I said you were in
Well, I
favor
don't-
of me hiring it, but it was out of your hands, if you remember.
Yeah, but I...
Don't try to turn the story now on me.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Actually, I believe you're turning the story.
No, I'm not turning
And
the
that-
story.
and that's a
I know
little-
what I heard.
That's a
All
little...
right,
Okay.
Mr. Serga, anyway, why don't you let me make your statement, you go ahead and make your statement.
And like I said, there's things there that, what I said was, a lot of those things were in my favor, but they weren't used for me, like I told you before. I went back 4 years now, and you know that. And you keep telling me, well, you keep coming here. That's why I come in here. And really, that doesn't really answer my question, because I don't know why I wasn't hired. I handed in my resume, 10 of the resumes that you got down there don't make half of mine, because I looked at all of them. I filed the Freedom of Information Act, and I looked at them.
I know Mr. Noto's here, and I know Commissioner Brett, who's a lawyer.
I know what Noto's
said
gonna
that
say.
last-
He tells
we
me
said
the same
we
thing
can't
all the time. Huh?
Mr. Brett, Mr. Sir, I would love to be able to talk about your individual case, but unfortunately, I'll have to wait till I retire from town supervisor. Then I'll give you, and then I'm more than happy, without any fiscal responsibility, to respond to all the questions you've been asking for the last 8 years. Unfortunately, I'm constrained and to talk about an individual. And so at this case, and I'm more than happy to sit down with you once I'm no longer town supervisor. But I can tell you, I can assure you, you've never been singled out. There's not one person on this board that's reviewed. I have no idea the names of the 76 people who are hired. I didn't know. No one singled you out. No one here is acted in a way to discriminate against you, Mr. Survey. I know you believe that is the case. But we've done okay. So you and I disagree.
Okay.
What we've been very careful to do is to take the $500,000 loss that the previous administration that you worked for did, and be very careful about the amount of time we employ people. And as you just heard, by October, we have 2 employees.
Why
If
do you
that.
keep- why
We
do you
don't
keep-
have, we don't have employees
Why do
all-
you keep
all-
bringing
all
that
winter
up
long.
about 5
And
or
so
6 years
therefore,
ago?
So therefore, what we do is we have part-time summer employment.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're also, we've done, I think, a fantastic job of giving opportunities to college kids, high school kids, give them a first job, really train them about the first job, get them into the job market. So we've taken a strategy that you believe is discriminatory against you. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that would hold up in the court of public opinion and the court of law. But I did want to, as I promised, make a presentation.
Yeah.
Did want to give you a chance to respond. I'll give you another 3 minutes to make your case, and then
Well, no,
we're going to move on.
that is my case.
Okay.
I'm not here to argue. I'm just here to say. And then another thing that I didn't like, well, you rubbed me the wrong way, Mr. Supervisor, is when you said that, oh, you want to work 7 or 8 months and then you want to collect unemployment? Yeah, well, that's the way the system works in this country. You know that. So why did you mention that to me? You trying to make me look bad? I'm not looking for nothing. Whatever I worked down there, I earned. Okay? And people that are on unemployment, that's not my problem. I earned my time down there. And you bring it up all the time. You always try to put me down all the time. And I don't really like that, okay? And before I leave, I want to thank the board, and I especially want to thank the gentleman on the end who tried to help me out. He said they were going to have a executive meeting. I don't know if that took place, but I think it should, because what happened to me, I don't want it to happen to anybody. That's why I've been coming here for 4 years. And like I said the last time, anytime you want to check my records, you can go down to town rooms and ask anybody. And you know how many people approach me when I walk into town about when I go before the board? Maybe 50 people ask me already. Why don't they give you an answer? Because they really can't, because they don't have one. Well, thank you for letting me speak, Joe. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Survey.
Okay.
Okay, I think I know there's a lot of people under the gun here, so figuration, studio, sculpture, installation proposal?
Oh, yes. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I got to... All right, this was something that came in very recently. Basically, I found out about it today, but Bill Lawyer got it yesterday. It is another art proposal. We've had several of these over the last few years where people have come in, they've placed art around the park, and I think it's been received very well, and this is a request that Bill received. The pictures kind of tell the story, but you can actually follow along. They gave us a pictorial that kind of goes with the narrative that you have in front of you. You'll see in the center, you can just make out the statue. That's I'll call it a simulated person that is standing there reaching to the sky. And these are acrylic figures that are molded acrylic figures. They're on some sort of stand. This particular one is the tallest one they have. It's about 10 feet, for example. Next, okay, you see it from a slightly different angle. And that's
Have we done this before?
well, we haven't done it in this way. For example, most of the art that we've had has been in and around the pond area. If you'll remember, we had the floating
Look,
artwork.
this is from our.
No, this is something, this is Photoshop.
Ah,
All right, what they're trying to do is
Benny, it's amazing what the
they're trying to
Mr.
show
Salanitro,
you,
it's amazing what they can do these
You
days.
got
Oh,
fooled
yeah.
on that one, huh?
right, they're trying to show you what this would look like.
Well, look, I think,
So they can fix the walls on Photoshop,
I think,
too.
look, I love the idea. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks.
Okay,
So those have been on display in Rye and
Oh, they
downtown
have?
Rye, and I think it was well received, but you should know, these are, sometimes they are nudes. So,
What?
I mean, they're figurative, but they're not dressed.
Do you have
So-
any
They're
close-ups?
nude.
Do you have any close-ups of these?
Yes.
no, hang on, I can,
They're acrylic.
Okay, there you go.
See, take a look, you'll have it,
There you go.
because I think we should know
Well,
what,
Mr. Nowotnik, what are you doing to us here?
all right, so that's,
Well, can we, did you guys review before they, did you guys read?
I don't know if we really
we
understood.
simply just approved, like we were just about to do here. They are beautiful, they are really beautiful, they
You
are.
get any complaints?
I'm sure you
Did
did.
you get any complaints? I didn't get any.
I think we got raised eyebrows. I don't think we got any real
All right,
serious,
Mr. Nowotnik, I do want to see what I'm going to have some conditionality. Thank you, Commissioner Red.
okay.
The conditionality is that we see a photo at least of the sculptures that are going to be put up. We don't, look, it's a kid's park. I don't want to, and look, by the way, what happens to these sculptures get damaged in any way?
The artists are, signing releases, they're
Okay.
providing their own insurance. They will do the install and removal. And if you look carefully on page 2, you'll see that there is also a sales implication.
Yeah, 35% of revenues. I saw that
Right.
part. Mr.
They're
Mr. Gioffre?
invulnerable.
Huh?
They're invulnerable.
Okay.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It's gone wild.
Yeah.
So, all right, but we have an August meeting, and they're looking for September 1?
So,
Well, yeah, I
I'd
mean,
like to review-
it could be something that happens next year,
I mean,
too.
perhaps they can share
Yeah.
the photos of
They
the
could show some
sculptures
photos.
they
That's
intend.
what I'm saying.
yeah,
So at the
moving
August,
forward.
so if
So
you could
maybe
have
we can
them,
conditionally approve
just so you
them.
know, we had to move our regularly scheduled board meeting to the same,
Oh, okay.
I won't be here for the August meeting, and I can't get another trustee because we have our board meeting.
are
that
you
night.
prepared to
I
defer to
will,
us
I
on
will
our
defer
aesthetic,
to you
Okay.
guys.
aesthetic, actually, I won't be here in August either.
So, yeah, there you
Will we
see
have
the
a
figures
quorum?
off on the right.
We need,
What's the date of the August meeting?
actually, you know what? I'll tell you what we'll do. We can do this by
I
email.
think we can do this by email.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I personally don't have a serious problem with it. I mean, it's art. I don't know if we should even be arbiters of what is.
Tasteful.
I
tasteful or
agree.
not.
Oh,
So,
Monsieur
you
Sach,
know,
vous êtes très avancé, hein?
Yes.
it's my prurient interest there.
Now we're getting into a little
I
bit of
told
the.
ya.
Well,
All
I
right,
guess,
so-
what's the David, isn't it the David?
Yeah,
Yes.
right. I mean,
just-
they're beautiful. They're really well done.
Yeah,
they
Look,
are.
I'm prepared to be outvoted here.
Just for the record, the piece of art that we have on our wall, even though it's innocuous, I've gotten many complaints that the woman scares the children.
I that one.
So
All
you
right.
always get complaints.
Yeah, you're always gonna, all right, well, so how do we want to do it? I'll tell you what, we'll
Would you like to have them? come in?
circulate.
Yeah, I was gonna say they should probably come
Well,
in.
we're not going to be here in August, well, I
No,
don't know.
why don't they circulate some photos?
Yeah,
of it?
circulate, have them circulate
And we'll
some photos.
provisionally
Okay.
approve this.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
okay,
Fine.
is that
Sounds
good?
good.
Commissioner Salanitro, you
I'm
happy
fine,
with
yes, thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
asking.
Okay.
Let's just be quick, okay, so we'll provisionally approve it, subject to email count of the pictures and review of the pictures. Good,
All right, and we'll have Bill Lawyer follow up on it.
fantastic.
Great.
Thank you. Now, I love the idea, and 35% of the revenues too, that's terrific.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
if you
great.
sell one.
Well, how much
Yeah,
are they
well,
going for? Do you
they're
know?
going for
I
big
don't
bucks, I
know. I
imagine.
would assume, looking at the size of them,
Yeah.
that there's a fair amount of money involved.
Paul said he's gonna buy one. He's gonna
Paul
put
said
Right.
he's down
an
for
appendix to his new
Town
book.
Attorney Noto, he
Yeah,
says.
he wants the naked one with the scales.
Yeah. All right, August meeting, what should we do? So,
August 18th.
is when you're unavailable?
That's when the meeting is, and that's when we have our board meeting, yeah.
So, I'm gonna be, I haven't been here in August
we
in a number of
have-
years, so.
Do we have any business to
August
conduct?
18th.
'Cause I'll make a motion
Yeah, will I be here?
I would
will not be
say
here. I will not be
no.
I keep missing you in Nantucket.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, we're gonna be up there again.
Joe?
Okay, good.
Will you be happy to entertain a motion to dispense with the August meeting?
If the rest of the board is, so
Fine
moved?
with me.
Yeah,
Approved.
approved.
I'll
Yes,
make the motion.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
done.
fine. Then the September meeting will be
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Can you
Fantastic.
have Lisa Easton come for that meeting? please?
I had her scheduled
I know,
for the
I saw
August
that.
meeting.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I
But
saw
that's
the
fine. I'm sure she'd be happy to,
Okay. Well, she can forward information in
Yes.
advance. There's nothing wrong with that.
I
If she
would-
has something prepared for
I
us.
would think so.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it in
All
advance.
right, and on that same note, I've reached out to another concrete vendor.
Okay.
And
They were,
he's understanding the project. He's now looking at the specifications, and I've asked him to see if he couldn't somehow re-engineer.
Okay.
You know, he's a real contractor, so he might have some ideas as to how to cut costs out of that project.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions, comments from the commission? Okay, it's our record time meeting?
Wow, that's great.
Excellent, wow. Okay, got a motion, okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Yes.
Aye.
All
right.
Okay,
All
thank you
right.
very much.